Welcome back to the show, y'all. This is Musician Loves Honey. This is, of course, the lovely Maria.
And this is Kevon, and he is not the musician I am.
Oh, honey, you know what? The only way
I'm
know...
not honey. You know what?
You are the honey.
I am too mean to be a honey.
Excuse me? Really? Okay, well, look, I'll tell you this. Let me see what high note you can hit once you have a good date night, and then we'll see how musicians you are.
I actually hit my high note in a secret place. So.
Really? You hit it in a secret place? That just means your toys are really working well, honey. I ain't mad at you. All right, well,
anyways, we have, as you can see, we have our
two
beautiful guests.
That's right. Yes, Kris, you are actually beautiful, my friend. Believe it or not.
Thank you for saying that. That's the nicest thing anybody said about me in 30 years.
Oh yeah.
You know what? You two may have something in common about the jadedness.
Probably, right?
Oh yeah, I got a 12-hour rule.
Oh, see.
Oh, yeah. What is your? Well, you know what? Before we get to that, let's actually.
Yeah, because we'll go there. We'll go there real quick and easy. All right. So first off, we're going to introduce. Of course, we're going to go with ladies first. Your name is
Patti Stewart.
Yes. Now, Patti Stewart. You are a lovely lady. Of course, you have your business, and it's called
Defense and Heels.
Defense and Heels. Now, please tell us about Defense and Heels, please.
So it is a women's and children's self-defense class. Essentially,
nice.
We have these really cute heels, and we're all wearing 6-inch heels here in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
However, most women don't know how to actually walk in them, let alone how to beat up the bad guy. Because, you know, you're sweet and innocent and so cute. However, if you piss me off, I'm only sweet and innocent for looks.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
All right. You just sound like...
That's what I'm talking about.
She sounds like a good fun twister board game for that's what it sounds like to me. And of course, we have my friend over here who is, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, my friend, please. Your name is?
Kris Kaivmann Satterfield.
Right. Now, my friend Caveman Kris is a part of what?
RevolutionRadio2.com. And
all right. And
the new thing, Smack Entertainment.
That's right.
Smack Entertainment.
Now, give them a quick synopsis of what you're on, my friend.
I do a show. Actually, I'm going to 5 days a week next week on RevolutionRadio2.com, 6 to 9 mornings. Smack Entertainment is something we just started last week. Got our first LLC. It's Stephen, Mike, Art, Caveman Entertainment. We are fixing to put the smack down on everybody in this town because we take care of the artist, as he knows. One of my best friends and one of the best, most talented artists I've met in all the states I've been in the last year.
Oh,
wow.
He's so sweet.
Are you sure about that?
I am 100%. I've seen him do other people's music and his own. Nobody beats him.
Yeah, well, his own.
Well, that's true. But you know what? I mean, I would say to you, you should know how talented I am, but you're just too scared.
I'm not scared of any shit.
What? She's not scared of them. Oh, you're not scared of the feces, but you're scared of me, baby.
No, I'm not scared of you.
You're not scared of me?
Of course not.
All right. That's why she beats you.
That's why you are here on the 4th segment, because I'm not scared of you.
Ooh, is that right?
Yes, of course.
Okay, girl. Well, you know what? I'm gonna see how musicianship you are. I'm gonna see how musicians you are. But anyway.
Oh, well, you're not gonna even actually get there. Keep on trying.
I'm not gonna. Well, you know what? Someone's gotta tank down this ice princess. Get it warm and fuzzy, and get the heart beating a little bit. It's hard. I'm just saying.
See, this is why we came into this femininity and masculinity topic. Because
that's fair.
You think you can beat me on every level, but you don't.
Of course I do.
And that's the reason why we have these two guests right here that will actually see that I can beat.
I'll be the judge if you want.
Ooh, I don't think he won't mind that one then. I don't think he might. Okay, well, let's start with our lovely lady Patti here. Now, obviously, we're talking about femininity versus masculinity, and to go into that, I want to first ask, what made you decide to create the Heels self-defense class for women?
I just had a love of weapons. I'm the gal who always has multiple weapons on me at all times. And that started at a young age. Worked my way up, grabbed a couple of black belts, a couple of certifications, trained a ton of people, and realized I'm actually really good at teaching.
Okay.
And so kind of developed it further and figured out what my exact niche is and what women actually need versus what's actually out there. Because I've taken tons and tons of classes and learned a whole lot of shit that didn't mean anything.
Right.
And so I kind of geared it with some police officers and figured out what women actually need to know and what they don't need to know. And then we focus on the need to know, and you got to make it cute and fun, so we add some heels into it.
Okay. Well, I would like to ask you, what style of martial arts did you study that was the foundation of what you made today?
So my black belt is in Taekwondo, and that was when I was a kid. I no longer practice it.
Right.
However, I do study a little bit of Krav Maga, Jiu-Jitsu, and a lot of police defensive tactics because they tend to merge everything in together in one, and it's real life scenario based versus here, stand here and kick a board. Like, yeah, I can break a board in a break, but what the hell is that going to help me with? You know, when somebody's trying to hurt me. So
that's very cool, and I get that.
I love that idea because you know what, being a woman is, we are perceived as weak.
Yes, very much so.
Exactly, yeah. By having all those, defense, intellectuality, or how you actually, I like to do that.
Well, I grew up with that. My really, see, you know what? You making stereotypes into stereotypes with that move right there, girl.
Whoa.
All right. My stepfather is a jiu-jitsu instructor.
Okay.
He still does it to this day. I studied from 6 to 17 jiu-jitsu. And of course, I wouldn't try to do anything about it now because I'm way too old for that. But
we know our limitations. I'm not going to go fight the guys that are in UFC, but I know,
of course, but
in a situation I can handle myself.
If you had to in a situation, right?
Yes.
Basically, what she's saying is she could kick my ass right now, even if I tried.
You know what?
I'm
sure.
so sweet and innocent.
But you know what? Something tells me she's one of those, one of those harsh but soft and cuddly ones. And I'm just saying that just by looking at you, right? I'm just sure it's right. She's like, I have the corners that'll cut you. But if you gay on the sides here, you can go ahead and nuzzle in and have a good old time. All right? Which I'm not mad about.
Let me just do something.
Uh-oh.
Oh, see? What are you trying to say?
Defense and heels.
Defense and heels?
I think she's getting ready to stab you with that in the eye.
You know what, honey? I say, them heels got me feeling not that defensive. All right? I feel like I'm
That's what you think. Can you explain it?
Just imagine this shin scrapes.
Right.
They're oh so fun anyways with tennis shoes.
Right.
Now add in heels. Or your trachea 6 pounds will completely crush it.
Of course.
You're carrying something that can crush it easily without even trying.
Of course, right here. I get that. Right? Or, of course, right over here.
Toes. Yeah.
Right.
There are so many different things that you can do with a pair of shoes.
Very cool.
And us women tend to have a lot more than we ever need.
Well,
so let's put them to work.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
Here's the thinking that I have when you do that. When you do those techniques and things that you're doing with the women, do you incorporate, because if you have one shoe and you're still holding on to the other, them being imbalanced and them having, because obviously a lot of women, statistically speaking, because they're all tall women out there, there are short women. So they'll have that imbalance and also they'll be shooting up.
Yes.
To deal with all those exposed areas.
Yep. So I teach that. I also have a ballet background, so I'm really good at the fundamentals of balance.
Right.
And so I teach that, but it's also the stats show that the women will be on the ground in less than 4 seconds. So that's why we do a lot of groundwork as well. I'm teaching them how to maneuver on the ground and how to get up off the ground, which with the jiu-jitsu background, is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Getting back up. And then for women, it's the getting back up with possibly one shoe or no shoes and then running away.
Right. Okay.
Wow, that's very interesting. Cool. Yes.
All right.
It's very interesting.
Very interesting.
I'm learning something.
I'll show you some stuff to beat them up after.
Yeah. Okay.
Please. All I need is just a bed and some cuffs, and some Vaseline. We could have a good time. I'm kidding a little bit. I'm kidding.
That depends. Do they have a secret unlock, or can I put police handcuffs on? And then you can't get out.
Well, I would just have like a safe word.
Safe word. Okay.
Right,
That's pretty normal in this town.
Right. That's somebody.
Go with the furry ones you can break, man.
My safe word is keep going.
It's keep going.
Yeah, I'm in rare form today.
It's probably because you got up so early this morning.
Oh God.
That's all right.
Oh yeah. See, I'm still like loopy. Right.
So, I would like to ask you guys, what can what is your contribution of the topic masculinity versus femininity? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Femininity.
Femininity.
Close.
Right. It's okay,
You're equal rights. So you can see nowadays you have all these women actually overpowering the guys.
They're trying to, definitely.
Well, we can do it.
Yes. Based off form, of course we can.
Yeah, we can.
And we also have a lot of leverage when it comes to different things that we can do that men like, so...
Yes.
That is true.
We tend to have a lot of leverage. But honestly, you'd mentioned it earlier, we're all human. We all have the same rights. It's just a matter of which extreme are you going to take it to today, because somebody is always pushing a button somewhere.
Of course.
So who's going to argue and think they're better than someone else today? Because tomorrow's a whole new issue.
I found it very interesting, and I've talked with this with a lot of women of lately, because a lot of women are very much into health, into fitness, being shape, tone, strength, etc. And I find it very interesting. Now, granted, I'm the exception of the rule because I'm a 155-pound, tiny, skinny, bald black guy, right? But my thing is, there's so many women out there that actually care about their physicality and their strength. And obviously, when they're taking care of themselves to look nice in that little outfit, now they're 150 pounds, lifting 300 pounds, and being tiny people.
Yes.
And yet, they'll still be seen as the weak person, even though they've been taking classes 3 times a week and can lift like a football player.
And could whoop both of us at the same
Exactly,
time.
my fault. Right. So, granted, I have no issue with me being able to walk down the street at night. Cool. But I'm like, you're worried about the chick when the chick will probably beat me up, you up, and the NFL guy. You know what I mean? Right. I mean, my point is things have changed where it's not so much the woman is not the quote-unquote deer in headlights where you can just take advantage and steer to the way.
Right. It's no longer Sally Homemaker.
No, that's not the world
it's
anymore.
Sally who's kicking butt at CrossFit 5 days a week.
Exactly. She could probably hit you in the neck real quick and outrun you because she does marathons 3 times a year. So it's like the notion of the weak woman is basically out the door.
Yes.
A big part of that to me, though, is the perception it was back in the 70s and 80s and before that. The fact of the matter is, I know moms that are way tougher than any dads I've ever met that raised them families, went to work, took care of whatever the hell was going on. I think it was more of a perception thing as opposed to what it is now.
Yes, because way a long time ago is, women always stays at home, take care of the family. And now with the working family in the U.S., everybody has to go work to make a living.
Yep, the economy has changed so much that women can't stay home anymore
No.
if they're in that situation, or husbands, because I have some friends that they make great money, and so they have their husbands stay home. But in this economy, we can't do that anymore. They say the average person is working 2 jobs.
Yes. I mean,
times by you're the second person in the household, so there's 4 jobs.
There's
And then you add in teenagers.
Right.
So the average person is working a hell of a lot more now than they used to back then, but it's because our dollar has gone to crap in this country.
That is true.
And we can't physically be like we were in the old days. And so women and men have changed over the times to adapt to this new society that we keep creating and adapting and changing and all that fun stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, the evolution of
of the society and how people look at it. Now, I want to throw something else into this conversation because I was watching Joe Rogan a few weeks ago. Now, not talking about him per se, but he had an interview with the author of Fight Club. And this guy, very interesting. He reminds me of a musician friend I know. Very intense guy. Smart guy. He was grew up as a reporter. That's what his vocation is. Before he became an author and did that. And for all of us who know the movie, because the movie is, it's lore.
I think I'm too young for that.
What happens at Fight Club stays at Fight Club.
See, she's young and she knows that.
You're young for something, but it ain't that, honey. I know what you. I got you, though. Don't worry about it. All right. So, what is the notion? Because in the movie, and it talked about it, but not overtly, about the perpetuation of women's rights, but that meant the downplay of men's rights and men feeling quote unquote as a man. Because a woman being seen as an equal doesn't necessarily mean a man has to be pushed to the side. It just means he has to respect that she has as much rights as he does and as much of a place as he does.
Exactly.
However, in that movie, that is played to a huge extent because there's a lot of absentee fathers, a lot of men that weren't part of the child's life. So when they grow up, it's very female-centric. Whether they mean to be or not, that's just what it is. So now it's like, well, where is our male role models? Because we've had such a female-centric point of view, and that becomes the counteraction to the 80s of the women and the 70s of the women, the 90s and things like that. So in the femininity versus masculinity, what is your take on that situation there?
So there's a whole lot to add in there.
Right.
So, I mean, we're equal because
Of
we're all
course.
humans. But when it comes down to it, men aren't losing any rights by women being able to vote. Or
course not.
it was literally only 30 years ago, so in my lifetime, that women were able to sign for their own loans for a business.
Mhm.
Mm.
So since I've been born,